How's it going, guys? My name is Damien. Welcome back. It has been a long time, just over a month since I have done a video, and there really is no excuse for that, but I think I might end up doing a separate video, kind of giving an update and talking about the future of this channel and also my video uploading schedule for the Clips channel. So this is my thoughts and opinions / review for episode 11 of The Flash Season 2, and the episode was actually so good that it warranted a review from me on this one because I really liked it. And the reason being is I was just a really big fan of the ReverseFlash, his character Barthon. I enjoyed every scene with him, whether it was Harrison Wells or not. So to get into this episode, there really is just a lot to talk about, and what I'm really going to kind of hit on here is the fact that they have really, with this loop that they have going with the Flash and the ReverseFlash, with this timeline being adjusted, it gets really confusing, and there's still some of it that I am still struggling to understand, but the basic gist is the Flash and the ReverseFlash will continue fighting throughout time. That's how you have to look at it if you want to simplify it, because if you try to get into technicalities or get really technical and in detail with it, it just is going to get really confusing, and this is generally what happens. I said this before, this is just what happens when you have timelines involved, because he comes back in time and things just start getting really crazy because he had already come back in time and then they took care of him, now he's back again. So it's separate timelines, and timelines get altered and all of this other stuff. So the episode was great, and I know that I imagine for maybe a large portion of the audience in general, maybe even more so for the female audience, it's probably really confusing. So, but the big things about this episode, obviously the ReverseFlash being back is just a huge deal. I like every time he's on the screen. I think the music that they use, I think the overall dialogue that he has, I think the way he changes his voice when he has his mask on, just to, kind of sell that more like intimidating persona, or just give off that aura that he's a complete like badass. I really like that stuff. So his entire character is just really great, and Zoom is still more of a mystery, so until we kind of learn some more things about him, then it'll kind of be clear as to who he really is and get some more backstory. But for now, Barthon is the go-to, and it has just been too long since he's been on, so I was really happy to see him back. Now, his scenes, again, with Barry, this version of Barthon does not know that Barry Allen is the Flash. He came back in time strictly to find out the timeline for Barry Allen for the Flash, so that he can now start to gather research and figure out exactly. This is prior to them even really getting into this long war that they have been in the future. So this is where it just gets really confusing. So all of this to say that what they're doing with this show, with all the characters that they're bringing in, it's really interesting to see how they're going to juggle it all, because the Hunter Zolomon cameo is another really big cameo. I think a lot of people are not really going to think too much of it when they see it or after they saw it, but his character, he is also another speedster, and he is mainly the speedster that goes against Kid Flash or Wally West, so that should be really interesting as well. He also has some notable fights or some battles with Barthon in the comics, so there's also a lot of interesting dialogue exchange between these characters and a lot of the history between all of them. So there's a lot in this episode. There's so much things that they kind of cram into episodes, and I was actually going to do a review on Legends of Tomorrow on Thursday, and I felt that episode just wasn't that great, and that's kind of what the Flash has been able to pace themselves in a way where they're giving you a lot of information, but it's not too much because you have all these characters, whereas Legends of Tomorrow, that opening, they had to sell you on so many characters and so much happening so fast. So it felt a little disconnected and a little really rushed, but I guess we'll see how it goes. Whereas the Flash has kind of had time now to slowly ease you into all of these characters and give you all of this information. So now, moving on from the ReverseFlash, because he was really great and I love his dialogue and everything like that, and I can't wait to see him back at some point. But Barry and Patty, the official end of their relationship. Now, I think this is probably going to be a separate video for me because I actually really liked the character of Patty Spivot, and I enjoyed their scenes together. And it doesn't really make much sense why they had to end the way they did. I understand that the nature of these two characters, it's just the way it happened in the comics. They're supposed to end. They're not actually together or anything like that for a super long time. That's understandable, but I guess it felt like there just wasn't enough screen time or they hadn't been together that long, because the episodes really just, sometimes there's not a big time jump in between episodes. Some of them kind of pick up where they left off, or it's like a day after, 2 days. So it's not exactly like the relationship felt like it was a long time where they were together. And I also found it odd that Barry just wouldn't admit that he was the Flash, even though he kind of did he officially did at the end of the episode. But there were so many moments I felt like where she is completely understanding of this fact that you are this person. Like, just admit it. It's just that simple. But I guess he was thinking about a lot of variables, a lot of possibilities in his head, and that's kind of why he didn't. So that was her temporary goodbye. Well, for the most part, permanent goodbye, until they kind of bring her back as a guest star again. But I knew she'd only been signed on for a few episodes, so I didn't know exactly how long they were going to take it. I was kind of hoping that it would actually kind of carry on into the latter half of season 2. But getting this nice, like, I guess it was a 6-7 episode span is not too bad either. So the way they handled that relationship, for the most part, it was great. I thought it was nice for Barry to have someone to reciprocate his feelings, because that was just a really like a big thing for him with Iris. So it was nice for him to have that as far as character growth is concerned and making him a more well-rounded person. But we'll see just what happens in the future, because now it's fully open for him and Iris to potentially have something at some point, because we know something is going to happen. It just seems like right now they're really far apart. Now, aside from that, Cisco's little goggles that was developed by Harrison Wells, Earth 2, those are really cool, because those were actually a nod to the comics. His costume in the comics is very techy, and that was something that he actually wears. He wears goggles very similar to that, so I thought that was great. I also really liked Cisco, and it was hilarious, that little scare they gave everyone when it looked like he was going to die or the timeline was going to affect him, with Eobarthon being trapped there. But obviously we knew that was not going to happen, because Cisco is Vibe, and Vibe is just, he's part of the comics. There's no way he was going to die there. Now, so much going on in this episode, so much. I'd like for them to have Zoom come back on. I know a lot of people are hoping for a Zoom versus Eobarthon fight. I think a lot of people just want to see that, because the two big bads just kind of going up against each other. Like, hey, I could totally see Eobarthon saying that the Flash is mine to kill. You have no place here. Go. And they just kind of go at it. Or Zoom saying that I should be the only speedster. I'm the fastest man alive. And they go at it in that way. Either way, they're going to definitely have some kind of fight if it kind of gets to that. But we'll just have to see what they're doing. I always, with these shows, I like to stay away from any kind of spoilers. So I don't ever try to read ahead and figure out or hear what they're going to do. I will hear about castings and things like that, or maybe big characters that they're going to bring on, and that is about the extent of it. I never try to get into detail, because I don't want to know anything. I want to be as surprised as everyone else when I'm watching the episode for the first time, and it really just adds to the enjoyment of the show. I used to get really into the future episodes of Smallville and kind of get like all the details about what is going to happen and things like that, but I find with The Flash, I haven't been doing that at all, and it's just been really, really great. So let me know what you guys think about the episode. Dialogue between Joe and Barry, always great. Obviously, Wally West, his character is more of just a side character right now. How he's going to get his speed is still up in the air. We'll see just how that all plays out. But let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. I do apologize for not uploading and not being more consistent with videos on this channel, but I will try my best to do that for the next 11 episodes of The Flash, Arrow, and then however many episodes of Legends of Tomorrow there will be. So I will see you guys tomorrow night for Arrow. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And if you're watching this video, I do appreciate it. Leave a like and comment down below with any other videos you might like me to do. I think I'm going to start adding in movie reviews because I'm going to see Deadpool the opening weekend, and of course Batman, Superman I'm really hyped for. So all of that stuff is going to be coming out as time goes on. I'll be trying to add in more videos, so it should be really fun. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching.